Welcome to Statesman.com and another edition of the High School Blitz. I'm Danny Davis. This is Rick Cantu. Rick, let's get right into it. Week 9's here. Only 3 weeks left in the season. We have some big games this week as the district races start to take form. Let's start in 13-6A, Dragon Stadium, 7 o'clock on Friday. We got Hendrickson, we got Round Rock, both undefeated in district play. You saw Round Rock last week. Did they impress you enough for you to pick them this week?
I was very impressed with Round Rock. They got the big lead at against Cedar Ridge, held on for a victory. I'm also impressed with Hendrickson. Both have one thing in common. Both lost their season opener by exactly 3 points, and both have come back with 6 straight wins. I do like Round Rock's offense. Liam Beard, he's been a good field general for them. DJ Jackson is a player to watch for Hendrickson, averages 10 yards a carry every time he touches the football. Very tight game, very close game. I waffled on this one, but I'm going to give it to Round Rock.
Yeah, and both those losses, Round Rock to Temple, Hendrickson to Converse Judson, were against a good state-ranked opponent.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned some of the Hendrickson standouts. Also, offense quarterback by Carrington Kearney. They can run the ball. Round Rock has allowed 4 100-yard rushes this season, so that's Hendrickson's opportunity. But I like Round Rock in this game. They've won 13 straight in district play for a reason. I think with Liam Beard and Dacius White, they get to win number 14. But it should be a good game.
Absolutely.
Probably the best game, though, is going to be over on Westlake's campus. Lake Travis-Westlake, this is one of the better rivalries in the area. Both teams state-ranked. Lake Travis at 6, Westlake at 8. Who's going to win this one?
Oh, I thought a few weeks ago I was going to pick Westlake, but after watching Lake Travis just annihilate everybody, I'm going to pick Lake Travis. They've won 7 in a row, and they've won them mostly convincingly, more by double digits almost every single time. They averaged 22 points a quarter in the first quarter of all 7 of their victories. I like Aiden Estrada and Matt Lopez are really good linebackers. I think that's going to be a lower scoring game than normal, not a low scoring game, but I figure Lake Travis by 7.
I'm going to go with Lake Travis. They've won 7 straight. In order to get the benefit of the doubt, you got to kind of knock off the king, and Lake Travis is the king in that 6A district. Sam Ellinger, though, for Westlake, 25 touchdown passes this year, 0 interceptions, which is a fantastic stat. I'm sure there's some Texas fans salivating over that stat, but he was sacked 13 times in this game last year. I expect, like you, that this is going to be a defensive game. Both defenses are playing well, but I say give me Charlie Brewer, give me Abe Willows, and give me Lake Travis. Let's do private schools. You talked about private schools earlier in the week.
Absolutely.
Something you learned. We got St. Stephen's, we got St. Andrews playing over on St. Andrews campus. Who wins this one?
Well, St. Andrews is definitely the hotter of the 2 teams. I think this is probably Ty Detmer's best team since he's been at St. Andrews, but it's not because he's throwing the football like he did with the Heisman Trophy at BYU. They're running the football with Cole Baker, who's got more than 1,300 yards rushing, 23 touchdowns. Evan Marshman has been really sharp as a quarterback. I like them to win this game. Briar Topo, remember that name? He leads St. Stephen's in rushing with more than 300 yards, and they've had a balanced offense. They have 4 players, in fact, just over 300 yards. But I'm going to go with St. Andrews.
That was a very in-depth preview. I'll keep mine short. I like St. Stephen's and a little bit of an upset here. They have a rise commit on their defense. Matthew Toming's done a pretty good job as their quarterback. St. Andrews has been playing great, but I just like St. Stephen's and a little bit of a mild upset. But as you talked about earlier this week, a lot of private schools playing very well in the Austin area. All right, let's close out our preview over at Wildcat Stadium. We got Hutto, we got Elgin, 2 teams that won playoff games last year, but each team only has 1 district win this year, so a loss could really hurt in Week 8. Rick, who do you like? Do you like Hutto? Do you like Elgin?
I like Hutto. I know they've lost a couple in a row, but I still think they've got one of the better quarterbacks in the area, in Tyler Herrick. He's responsible for 23 of the team's 29 touchdowns this year. Pretty good ratio. I like DeClaven Simmons. He's a wide receiver for Elgin. They just don't give him the ball enough. He's got 25 catches for almost 400 yards, and he's a game breaker himself, but I just think Hutto has more game breakers.
Local football fans probably recognize the last name of the kid you just mentioned. His older brothers, Datrian and Terrell, did a lot of good things at Elgin in the last couple of years, but if Elgin's going to win this game, Donovan Thomas, Jacob Cook, 2 of their running backs need to have big games. Hutto's allowed over 700 rushing yards their last 2 games, but I think Hutto is going to win this one. Elgin's allowing 41.3 points per game. That's not something you want when Tyler Herrick's coming to town. I just think Hutto wins this one. I think Hutto keeps its postseason hopes alive, and I actually do think Hutto's going to reach the postseason and maybe win a game or 2.
Day for the Hippos.
That is our preview for the week. As always, be sure to check out statesman.com to see how good we did, how bad we did, and we'll be back next week to recap Week 9.